we want to continue being kind of a resource and reference for those getting into fire. And one thing I think that a lot of people don't know before they get into fire is the Dutch Creek incident and Andy Palmer, and why we have such a medical presence in Wildland fire. To some, it may be like, oh, it's a dangerous job, but what were the reasons? Maybe what was it like before? And we want to honor Andy, right? You know, so it's good to go over some of this, and we'll chat about it. We're going to be playing the video and pausing it here and there to kind of have some feedback.
Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because on one of my very first fires as a line paramedic, a medical unit leader, somebody asked me, do you know what the Dutch Creek protocols are? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I do not. He was essentially angry at me that I didn't, and was like, you need to know what this is. So many of you probably already know about this unfortunate story, but for those of you who don't, here's your time to learn. It's important in many ways, especially if you're in Wildland EMS. That's why the industry exists now, because before this, it was a little more, I wasn't around, but a little more Western,
a little more cowboy.
Yeah, you just hoped you had an EMT on the crew somewhere, or hoped that, you know, now it goes a lot farther than hoping medical resources are there. It's now required to have them there. That's why we were able to get into Minuteman EMS, and then that's what led us to creating the Journeyman. So that's why we're here today.
Yeah,
essentially.
And it is unfortunate that things were learned retroactively. Like there wasn't a plan in place. Just a little preface. Andy was 18 years old. It was his first assignment.
Yeah.
So July 25th, 2008, on the Eagle Fire, which was a part of the Iron Complex.
It was Shasta Trinity in California, I believe.
He was struck by a tree, sustained an injury, and the video is going to go over the circumstances that happened, the first responders, the plans they initially put into place. So yeah, we'll run through this video and talk about it as we go.
We're not trying to Monday morning quarterback what those involved did out there. No. I've never been involved in an incident this tragic on a wildfire, but just want to hopefully take some lessons from it.
Absolutely. All right.
Should we read any of this if there's anyone just listening?
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll pause it. So while Andy's engine crew is dropping a hazard tree, Wildland firefighter Andy Palmer, who was 18, on his first fire assignment, is struck by a large section of a nearby tree impacted by the hazard tree being felled. Obviously, there's a lot of trees in the forest, so you may think you're clear or not paying attention as they're dropping a tree, but as that snag or what they're dropping comes down, it can take out and bring down a lot with it.
Yeah, it can have a domino effect and hit a tree that hits a tree that hits you.
Yeah.
So just stay away. It's fun to watch them drop trees, but don't get too close.
No. And we can keep playing, but they're just going through some pictures right now showing what was left behind. Where his radio was, his helmet, his boot, the tree section of the body that impacted him.
A 20-inch diameter tree, so very large. For those of you listening, there's a considerable amount of blood on the tree as well as in the dirt. It says here the accident shatters Andy's femur and severs blood vessels.
During the first 15 minutes after Andy's accident, the Iron Complex ICP Communication Unit calls local 911 informing that there has been an injury, reporting,
"Sounds like a broken leg."
911 pages County Advanced Life Support Ambulance to respond. Nearby crew boss trainee goes to accident scene and radios his crew boss, informing,
"It's bad."
request entire crew to respond and assist. Andy's 2 other crew members have removed their Nomex fire shirts for dressings applied to Andy's upper left thigh. Crew boss trainee removes his fire shirt to help with this direct pressure dressing. 911 reports that they are checking on the availability of helicopters. During the next 15 minutes, the area's 2 medical transport helicopters decline mission due to poor visibility from smoke. Operations Branch Director inquires about the availability of a hoist helicopter. Crew boss arrives and takes over radio communications.
On scene, severe injury, heavy bleeding, leg bent back, still conscious and talking.
30 minutes after Andy's accident, a County Advanced Life Support Ambulance with 2 paramedics and 1 ride-along, as well as a County Fire Rescue Unit, arrive at Dutch Creek Road and bottom of Dozer Line. It is approximately 1/3 of a mile from this site, up the Dozer Line, to the accident location. County Fire Rescue delivers a litter and is dispatched to another call. Incident Management Team, IMT Safety Officer, calls 911 on ICP landline and suggests checking with U.S. Coast Guard for helicopter. 45 minutes after Andy's accident, 911 calls Comm Unit and asks if they've heard from the Coast Guard. IMT Safety Officer tells 911 that rather than try to hoist with the Coast Guard helicopter, they are going to use the agency helicopter assigned to the incident. Just before the 2 county paramedics get up the Dozer Line to accident site, they learn by overhearing radio traffic for the first time that Andy has been hit by a falling tree. His injuries are much more serious than they realized. Because they thought it was just a broken leg, they are only carrying a vacuum splint and trauma bag.
I think there's probably a
County
couple
paramedics
lessons
arrive on scene.
here to learn. If you're near an injury that happens, to give as much descriptive information as you can to the paramedics and EMTs showing up. This has happened to me many times, mainly 911, but seems like a lot of the worst calls you go to have the most like mild sounding dispatch reports. And sometimes when it just sounds like it's terrible, it's not. But anything, if you guys are out there on a fire that you can, the more you can tell us, the medics, the better. Like if they had known he was hit by a tree, they may have brought some different stuff or been a little more urgent.
Right. And and just being prepared. They talked about taking off their Nomex to help dress.
Yeah, that's
even if you don't
terrible.
have a tourniquet, you can make makeshift tourniquets with clothing and sticks. Being descriptive. I do want to also point out that 1340 to 1350 was the first report of the accident, and it wasn't 45 minutes later until they got the rest of that information.
It's wild how the plan back then was we'll call local 911, and who knows how far away they are.
Yeah.
And are they busy? They might be on another call. And then something else, a third of a mile hike uphill, like just another reason in wildland and generally you need to be fit, but especially in EMS, don't hop off the city ambulance being a slob and come out to the wildland when you're going to need to perform in situations like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Nomex, like stopping bleeding with Nomex. This is a little 2008, so we did know that tourniquets work, but it's not like it is now.
Right.
I think in 08 there was a little more hesitancy about them. And then I also don't know for sure. Broke his femur, but I don't know if it was high up enough where it was too high for a tourniquet or what. Even if it was, that's why, even if it was, guys on the ground need to know about wound packing, right? So have tourniquets and wound packing material on your fire crews.